Hi everyone, it's Tasha and welcome back to my channel. In this video, you will see my first attempt at using a napkin as a focal point for my project. I incorporated some of my own printed papers as accents and explored working with acrylics as I would watercolors. I'm looking forward to sharing my process with you. So let's get started. So I started off by applying a layer of gesso on my paper. I'm going to use a bit of some Dilutions ink, but instead of really saturating it and layering it with several different colors, I just wanted to get a basic wash of color. So I'm going to use a baby wipe and kind of wipe it around just so that I can get a basic foundation of that light blue. And so what I did is I took a little bit of acrylic paint and I mixed it with quite a bit of a glazing medium by Liquitex. And I'm just applying with my fingers, as you can see, some circles. Now I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, I was a little intimidated by this project, so I didn't really know where I wanted to go. So I went through my stash and I found a few different prints that I had made with my jelly plate in anticipation of using them somehow in this project. Here's the Dragonfly Napkin that I found online that I thought was really pretty, and I will have that link in the description box below as well. You will peel off the backing layer of the napkin. And by using a little bit of water, you can then cut out the portion of the napkin that you want to use for your project. And in this case, I want to use the two dragonflies that are kind of sitting on that lily pad. I'm using my watercolor pen to cut out the image. And I'm leaving a good portion of this video in real time because it just felt absurd to speed up the process of something that can be very delicate. And I just wanted you to see what it looked like in real time. I was so nervous, even though I had 20 napkins. So being nervous really didn't make any sense because if I messed up, I had like 40 more attempts right in front of me, but I really wanted to try to do it right the first time. So just very carefully tear out the portion that you want to use. And then you just want to place it on your project to figure out where you'd like it to sit. And you will see me struggle through this project as I go along because I really didn't know where I wanted it to go, and so you'll find me putting the papers on there, taking them off, putting them back on there, taking it off. But it was a process that I just had to breathe through and remind myself that nothing bad was going to happen. Using a little bit of the Liquitex gel matte medium, I am now gluing that piece down. And just remember, it's a napkin and it is very fragile, so you want to just use very gentle motions so that you don't tear it. I decided that I needed to cut the watercolor paper down to a smaller size. Anytime I find myself struggling with a piece, the first thing I tend to do is look at the size of the overall piece, because I've discovered that a lot of times it's more of an issue having to do with the proportion of the project, and if I can narrow it down and bring it more to a size that I feel is more workable, I then kind of get through whatever sort of creative mental block I'm having. And now that I know the space I'm working in, putting in the second dragonfly made sense. I knew where I wanted it to go. So if you find that you're kind of stuck, look at your whole project in general and look at the size. And you'll be surprised that sometimes it's just too big. And you just need to take off a little bit and see if that puts you in a better place. So now I can finally start pasting down some of these circles that I had cut out from some of the jelly prints that I had made. And I wanted them to mimic the painted circles. And now it all started to make some sense. So the next step, I'm going to apply some modeling paste through a stencil that I have, and I wanted to tape everything down just to make sure nothing moved. Now the stencil gives it a little bit of texture, and I like to apply it close to the napkin because it allows me to transition once I start to put the paints on there. It kind of tricks the eye a little bit and adds an extra bit of depth and dimension and interest to your piece. I made the mistake of doing this and then putting the stencil to the side instead of immediately putting it in some water to wash it off. But you live and you learn. So from now on, this stencil will most likely be used for modeling paste. And I like to give this portion a nice good dry because I know that I'm going to be painting on top of it, and I want the modeling paste to accept the paint. So I gave it a nice good dry. And I'm going in now with some acrylic paint that I am watering down because I wanted to try to get the vibrancy of an acrylic paint, but I wanted to have that watercolor effect. One of the tricks that I picked up as I was researching this technique of using napkins is to try to match the colors that you see in the napkin in order to help you transition it into your overall piece. So I really tried to match that shade of teal and the blues so that I could incorporate it with the paint. If you're interested in seeing what else I can come up with and interacting with people, please join me on Facebook and on Instagram. And also, like and subscribe to my YouTube page. And this process was very relaxing to me once I finally allowed myself to settle into the process and just go with the flow of things and not worry so much. This was very relaxing. And it took me some time. There was no rush. I just tackled each section a little bit at a time. Remember to take some time to step away from the project. Look at it from a few steps back. Hold it up to see it from a different point of view. I purchased a bunch of different napkins because anytime I try a new project, I tend to fall down this rabbit hole and I get completely enamored with everything, so I have to buy everything. So I have this beautiful collection of napkins now, so keep your eye out because I will definitely have some more videos using different napkins and different themes. But what I found, my friends, which I thought was hilarious, is that there are actually sites online that sell napkins by pairs, so you don't have to purchase an entire package. So with this particular design, I purchased an entire package, so I ended up with 20 napkins. But I will also link some of the other napkin sites where you can get just a couple at a time. It's amazing what you can find on the internet, and it's amazing the things that you could learn when you watch other artists and their videos. They can tell you so much. Here is the final product. I loved this project. I'm so excited to do more like this. I also took another piece of this napkin and created a little card. I hope today is a great day for you. And as usual, go do something amazing.